Hi everyone, it's James here from Production Expert, and in this quick screen cap video tutorial type thing, we're going to look at the latest trio of effects from our friends at Arturia. This time they bring us 3 reverbs we'll actually use. Now we'll come on to those in a moment, but this is now part of the Arturia FX Collection, including 3 preamps, 3 compressors, 3 delays and 3 filters you'll actually use. Now with reverbs, that gives us 15 effects in one lovely package. So onto the 3 reverbs. We have the Revplate 140, which was available as a free download for a little while. We have the Rev Spring 636. And we have the Rev Intensity. So I'm going to start with the Revplate 140, and I have a basic drum track here. Let me play that for you now with no reverb whatsoever. This is a completely unprocessed, naked track. And drums are always good for testing reverb because they're very transient. So for each of these reverbs, I'm going to start with a basic preset and then dive in and start tweaking so you can see the power and the control we have on each of them. Starting with the Revplate 140. So I'm going to take it out of bypass and listen to where we're at the moment. Now that's a perfectly sensible plate type sound. Let's dive into some of these controls and see how gnarly we can make it. Let's pull back the drive a little bit. Change the mode, modern, classic, EMT, or punchy. I like the EMT. Be a bit much. Now the basic Revplate 140 package actually looks like this, pretty straightforward, sort of 5 or 6 different parameters to mess with. However, we can now go into pre-delay, high-pass filters, modulation and EQ if we want to really go to town on this thing. So let's dive in there. That's a really nice kind of dark plate sound. I really like that. So the next one in the Reverbs You'll Actually Use package is the Rev Spring 363. This is a very, very cool kind of grungy, vintagey kind of spring sound. Very, very nice. Let's play the drums back and we'll have a mess around with some of the parameters. We've got input, we've got an overload indicator here, decay, width, blend, and an output control. Now, like all the Arturia plugins, we've got the kind of basic controls, and then we can open them up and dive into the good stuff. Pre-delay, filters, the tank type and settings, and some post EQ. So let's have a play around there. I love that. That's a really original take on that classic Spring reverb sound. Yes, you'd probably use Spring reverb on guitars rather than drums, but you do get some really cool effects with this thing. The last one of the trio is the very creative and very original sounding Rev Intensity. Now, I've started messing around with some of the presets, of which there are plenty to keep you going, but the best way is just to get in and start messing and see what happens. So, one I like messing around with, particularly on drums, was this one, the Lo-Fi Room. Now, if we open it up, we can see exactly what's going on with the pre-effect and post-effect filter. We've got the envelope follower, and we've got this kind of crazy function setting, which is basically an ADSR envelope. Very, very cool. Let's start with this reversed gate and see where we end up. Basically, treat Plate 140 and Spring 363 as conventional reverbs. Rev Intensity is almost a synthesis engine in its own right. It's very, very powerful and very, very cool. So there you go. There's a quick look at 3 reverbs you'll actually use from our friends at Arturia, part of the new Arturia FX Collection. Hope you enjoyed that. My name's James Ivy, and I'll see you again very soon for some more gear talk.